Dude, you were my second guest on this podcast, and a lot has changed.
Who was number one?
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Oh.
He's number one.
Right. Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah. The one and the two.
I can't be number two.
Yeah, dude. So you're back. We're in it. Now there's video.
Whoa.
Now there's fun voice changers.
Wow.
Redban, you have been summoned to the top of the mountain.
I can't climb that.
Just
text me, bro.
Worst improv scene ever. Like he's like, nah, dude, look at me, man.
Come on.
I mean, come on. This doesn't make sense.
I'm wearing sweatpants for Jesus Christ.
Yes. That's not a fun one. What is this?
I think.
Oh, okay. I'm here now.
Redban, you have joined us. You're very out of breath.
It took me so long.
Now I have one question for you.
You end up just texting me.
What is the secret to the keto diet?
Well, it's not really working.
I'm so glad I don't do that diet anymore. That was a pain in the ass, just eating meat every day.
That was pretty intense, right?
Yeah. I'm surprised I did it that long, but watching you guys like eat pizza and especially when we're on the road,
Dude,
it was like impossible.
It's impossible to be healthy on the road like that.
Oh yeah.
Like I did keto for 2 to 2.5 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. I forgot you did it. That
dude, me of all people hated it.
No, you can't eat anything but exactly what you would eat if you're a college, like that's the diet. Like you have to have pizzas and chips and
I really do. I mean, even if when I'm eating healthier, I just have to do portion control. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like just a less of it, but I still got to have it.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd be better at Weight Watchers.
Yeah.
Because then you could eat whatever you want. You just got to be accountable. Like, all right, I had 2 pieces of pizza. So that means I have to have like a salad.
Right.
And an apple.
Yeah. My mom used to do Weight Watchers back in the day, and she would fix our dinner for us. And it's kind of sad whenever I paint this picture visually, I guess. She just didn't want to be tempted to eat the food, so she would eat her dinner on the stairs while we were in the kitchen sometimes, just to separate.
Oh gosh!
Just because it was like she's a really good cook and she uses like a lot of butter and stuff like that, and she knew like, oh, like this is gonna blow my Weight Watchers if I sit down with the family and like eat.
Yeah.
Is that the weirdest diet you've gone on as keto, or have you tried any others that are like even worse than that?
I've tried little things like where you starve yourself for 12 days. You know, the thing where that's more of a detox though. But like that was the worst because for 3 or 4 days you could have nothing except lemon water and a bunch of supplements. And then you like the 5th day you get rice. And that was like such a big deal.
Dude, when I did keto, even though I did it for 2 weeks, I had berries and I lost my mind. It was like I was at the Wonka factory. It's like, it's so sweet.
Yeah. Well, that's a weird thing that keto at least teaches you. That's one cool thing about diets is they teach you little things here and there. And keto teaches you how bad fruit is with sugar.
Yep.
Like every other diet, fruit's always been like, oh, you're allowed to have as many grapes as you want. But then when you're on keto, you realize each grape is so much sugar. Like those are like the worst things to eat is grapes.
Yeah.
How much sugar it is. And I've always thought grape as being diet.
Grape good. Yeah.
It's very weird. Sugar's the worst thing, I guess.
Yeah. I know. And that I just love it so much. It's so good.
Have you ever had sugar-free gummy bears?
I think I've tried them.
Yeah, they have this bag of sugar-free gummy bears on Amazon, like a 5-pound bag. And if you read the reviews of them, each one's like, shit myself at work. Do not get these. Like every single review is, can't hold my shit in. Do not eat.
All the usernames are Redban.
Hey, come on.
Hey, all right.
Come on, man.
That's one of my favorite things you do on Kill Tony is like when you're laughing and you're like, all right, that's enough. Like you of all people are like going to get serious.
Yeah, I know. I was supposed to, like, I had my shirt, me like poop fart shirt on before I left today. And then I went outside. I'm like, what am I doing? I can't walk in this shirt. So,
dude, I forgot that I was wearing that shirt out in public and I kept getting,
it's my favorite.
I kept getting weird looks. Like Pat and I were out looking for like stuff for a music video we were shooting or something. And I kept getting the dirtiest looks or people that were genuinely concerned for me. Like, what is that?
It's so funny.
And it's like, oh yeah, I looked down like literally 2 hours into running errands. I was like, dang it, I forgot that I was wearing this shirt. The me like poop fart.
That's my favorite because I only wear it if it's like I have a hoodie on or so you can't really see it.
So you can kind of zip it up a little bit.
Yeah. But man, there's been a few times where I forgot.
Dude, there's some of those meth syndicate shirts that I'm sure like it's like, how do you wear those like I got my dick sucked.
Oh yeah,
in a Bass Pro Shop, and there's people like that he posts, that are wearing it like in front of Bass Pro. I was like, oh man,
they cannot be happy about that.
There's no way. Is that a copyright issue or is it under parody law?
That's what those kind of like meth syndicate and a few other those guys. That's what they do. There's these underground T-shirt guys where they'll sell a shirt for like 24 hours. And then remove it so no one knows about it. Like so
it just gets leaked real quick.
Yeah, leaked pretty much.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool because it lets you get away with doing that without getting in trouble, kind of. So people are like, "Where are all of these people getting these shirts?" And no one knows. But
that's such a funny trolling like business approach.
Yeah.
Of just like getting it out there.
Yeah, I like it. I have a lot of those stupid shirts. My favorite's the one that says it has the cover of Soundgarden's album. And it just says Olive Garden above it.
Oh yeah, dude. One of my favorite Meth Syndicate shirts is the it says NSYNC below it, and then it's a picture of the band Korn. but because of that era, they were still like kind of bleaching their tips and stuff.
Right.
So literally 9 out of 10 people are like, love that shirt, and they keep walking.
Yeah.
And then there's other people that are, I like your. That's not insane.
That's my favorite. Yeah, you're the one that actually I saw. You were the first person I ever saw wear one of those shirts. You were wearing the one with the guy with the bleached hair.
Oh, Guy Fieri.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it says
Smash Mouth underneath.
Smash Mouth.
Yeah, dude.
And that's funny because I think when I first looked at it, I thought it was.
Everybody thinks it's for sure that guy from Smash Mouth.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
good job, Meth Syndicate.
Yeah, good job, Eric. Dude, we've been having some fun adventures lately.
Dude, we should talk about Europe.
We should talk about Europe because that was one of there's 24 hours of that trip. I mentioned it briefly on an older podcast episode. I kind of just ran through it though. It was one of the worst 24 hours that I've ever been on the road ever. Like it probably was the worst 24 hours it definitely was the worst 24 hours of being on the road because I've never been that sick on the road.
No. And it was not even like looking back at it, we were stupid. We should have definitely gone to the hospital or something. Because I mean, at least me, I was beyond just food poisoning. I was like, oh, I'm dehydrated. I'm fainting. Like there was parts where when we were at the airport, I'm like, I'm just going to just die here. Like, I don't think I'm going to live past this. Like, it was bad.
Redban was the only one of us who threw up while in the air.
Yeah, in a Ziploc bag. And luckily, because we were so dehydrated that we found like their version of Gatorade. Remember, it was like
dude. It was called Lycorade or something like that. LYCORAD, something like that.
Yeah, and it tasted just like we were drinking sugar water.
It was so gross.
And so luckily I had been drinking a little bit or drinking that, just trying to get, because I was so dehydrated, I thought I was going to pass out. And Tony's like, you better not drink that much because you're just going to throw it up right away. And I'm like, it's either that or die, So I'm on the plane and I had drank like half a bottle of this strawberry.
Meanwhile, I'm literally sipping on it.
Yeah,
like it's like the finest of wines.
Yeah, you were.
I'm like, this is Lycosade. Very good. Very tasty.
And then you cut to me. I'm in the corner with a Ziploc bag and I'm just
in his jacket. He opened up his jacket.
Yeah, because I didn't want anyone to see me. And luckily, I don't think the people next to me realized it. And it didn't smell like puke. It just smelled like strawberries. So, so then when I was like, and I'm like done, I'm like, I zip it up and I look around, I'm like, no one saw me. So I just kept it in my pocket inside my coat. And then we get out of the plane and it was like, right when he got out, it was weird. It was like a baggage claim type thing, but there was no trash cans. Like I walked around that whole thing.
There's no trash cans anywhere.
So I was like, what do I do with this? I'm not going to go through, because we still had to go through like the pass,
the customs and all that stuff. Yeah.
shit. I'm not going to have a puke bag when I'm in customs. That's going to look crazy. So I found underneath this, like these strollers or something. I just hid my little, it's probably still there too. I'm thinking like, there's just this bag that's gotten moldy now. They're going to be like, what is this? There's going to be a little baby in there.
Oh my God. A little Redban baby.
What category of porn do you watch?
Dude, I remember when I was a kid and my sister, one of her containers of like a sippy cup of milk rolled under the seat in one of our like family vans or whatever. And she found it weeks later and she goes to look at it and she goes, I found my sippy cup. And my dad goes, what was in there? And she goes, milk. And she like opens it. He goes, wait, no, literally like a bank bag, like the blue ink, but like with gross,
spores.
disgusting, mold spores and milk exploded all over our car.
God, I've done some, this a couple of years ago. I'll do something like in the middle of the night. I'm just like, I want something to snack on real quick, and I'll go to the refrigerator and just eat some cheese and then go back to bed or something.
Yeah.
And one time I did that. I ate some cheese and it was like some ham or something. And the next morning, Janice is like, oh my God, why did you eat that cheese and that meat? And then she's like, did you look at that? And I go and the cheese was just mold. Like it was just a white fuzz over the whole thing. I guess because it was dark in the kitchen, I just ate, didn't look. The meat had like these green and black spores all over. It was, nothing happened, thank God, that I know of.
Well, I guess some mold is good mold.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's really weird? We're actually getting a call from one of the associates at Ryanair Airlines.
Oh gosh.
I guess we'll see what they have to say, but they might be upset about finding out about that puke.
Oh no.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Is this Mr. Brian Redban?
Yeah, sure, it is.
Yes. Couple quick questions to ask you.
Mm.
We found a bag of bodily fluid.
How do you know it's bodily fluid? Did it taste like bodily fluid?
What kind of a question is that?
Don't get mad at me, Ryanair.
Listen, here at Ryanair, we are one of the finest establishments in all of Europe. By finest.
Well, by the way, Ryanair, just to, you don't even have puke bags on your plane. You are such a, like, I looked for a puke bag when I sat down, and there's no bags on your plane. I've never been on a plane where there's no puke bag.
Well, do you know what we do have? We have directions just in case the plane crashes in little cartoon pictures right in front of the seats. So that's all you look at the entire time is you think about crashing. And I think that in itself right there is a good company move.
Yeah, you're right. Printing the instructions of what happens when the plane's about to crash on the seat in front of you. So that instead of having like an LCD monitor to watch, the Pet Shop Boy videos or whatever you do, you just see how we're going to die nonstop. But
well, it's just nice to put in the subconscious, just in case there is an accident or there is a plane that goes down from the air. You know exactly how you're going to get out of that situation.
Yeah, but where's your puke bags? You can't.
We can't afford puke bags. All we can afford is the animated pictures on the back of the seat in front of you, and also the food menu right below that.
Oh, God. By the way,
did you try or find food on that flight?
No, I saw how it was. I got to watch the woman drop it and then put it back on the counter.
Yeah, that adds extra seasoning.
it's the seasoning.
That's our secret sauce on the flight.
Oh God!
So back to the liquids.
Oh, all right. What was I supposed to do with it?
Is this your vomit?
No.
You are denying that it is your vomit, sir.
No, that's just Gatorade. It's for a baby.
So you're saying if I went home, I have a 2-year-old daughter in a crib, and I fed her that liquid, then she would be A-okay.
She'd be hydrated. Yep. That little baby's.
That's not what I asked. I did not ask the
She'll be
baby to
okay.
be hydrated.
Definitely, she'll be okay.
I do not agree with what you're saying. And the next time you land in Europe and you fly Ryanair,
Oh, I'm never going to do that.
you will be reprimanded.
I'm never going back to Ryanair
Oh, wait.
or Norwegian Airlines. I don't know if you're connected to Norwegian
Oh,
Airlines.
that's our cousin airline.
Oh, yeah. Your rich cousin.
Our rich cousin airline. You're offending us on all across the planes. And yes, I do mean that pun intended. Across all planes. You know what? I've got to go. I'm really getting in a
Oh, you
huff
just
over
can't
here.
afford this phone call anymore.
Okay, this was a collect phone call.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I'm denying these charges
Well,
then.
Jeremiah is going to have to foot the bill.
I'm not paying for this.
No, you will be billed just like you will for the cleaning fee on Brian Redban.
Oh, geez.
No, now I'm gonna say goodbye. Now I'm getting offended. You're calling my show and saying and accusing my friend Brian of leaving liquid somewhere.
I would never do that. Even though
He
we
would
just
never
talked about
do
it.
that.
I was listening live right before this. He admitted to it.
Well, unless we have playback on that, I can't really agree with you on that.
Okay, well, you know what? You will be hearing from our lawyers.
Oh, I'm sure you have great lawyers over at Ryanair.
Oh yeah, yeah. What are these lawyers? Are you? Do they also work as stewardess on your airplane that drops?
Yes, as a matter of fact, they do. They're stewardess and also lawyers in training.
Yeah. And they ghost ride the whip also, I bet, on their days off.
You've never ghost ridden the whip with an airplane? It's pretty exciting. You have to let the runway stare down, and then you have to walk next to it, and then you have to run all the way back up the stairs.
Oh, wow. So do you guys ghost ride the whip those two planes that crashed recently?
Uh-oh, gotta go.
We just lost it. The pilot from Ryan Airlines is, I don't know. I didn't like how accusatory he was of everything.
No, I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
I also don't like a lot of things in Europe, like not only the airlines, but the cabs. Remember the cabs if you haven't been in a cab, it's one of the most horrible things ever. Imagine a square box of a car, like a PT Cruiser. But then there's no trunk because you're sitting in the trunk. You open the doors and there's 4 seats, 2 looking at each other. And then you just kind of put your seats in the middle. And
All your luggage goes right in the middle.
Yeah, so you're
or
just
like underneath your legs. It's very awkward. It's like it's a boxed hearse that you're riding in.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
And when you're about to puke because you're all sick and throw up and you're riding backwards.
I know you're looking at all the cars passing you. It's very weird.
God. Oh, and that hotel we stayed at, which might have been a hostel. I don't know what it was. And there was only one power outlet in like the whole room, and it was behind the TV. And God, it was just like a night. There was a lot of nightmare things that happened there.
It was true. It was true. Like we're on the road. You know what I mean?
Boss level road trip.
Like it was literally like we were like doing all of our combinations just to stay in it and like trying to get to the venue. Like as soon as I got to the venue in Manchester, like as soon like I stepped out and I puked everywhere all over the
that's
sidewalk.
right. You did. Yeah.
Because
Right
I
when
was
we got out of
holding it the
cab.
entire trip, and I was like, "Okay, just don't move." And then the guy's like, "All right, here's your stop," and I was like,
I don't know how you held it because it was so violent for me. I couldn't hold it.
"Dude, I was zenning out. Like I was literally meditating in the front, like because the way that the cab drivers were." Joel, Redban, and Tony would always be in the back, and I always was just like, I'll ride with the cab driver up front, and that was actually one of my favorite parts, though, was talking to the cab drivers when we weren't sick.
Yeah, they were
because
great.
they had crazy stories.
Yeah.
All of them were like characters in themselves. Like that one guy in Ireland that kept talking about that fire that happened from back in the day. Mm-hmm. Like everything, he's like, I still hear the screams.
I still hear the screams of the babies with their puke bags.
He's like, people were burned alive that night. He said the doors were locked from the outside, and people couldn't get out. You could smell the skin. Like he literally, it was like a horror movie. This guy was painting a picture for us, and we're like, yeah, so our stop's right up here. And
Speaking of horror movies, you just posted a horror movie the other day, man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, then never mind. Then I still hear it when I close my eyes.
Some people got mad at me for posting that.
Well, I think
They didn't have context for it. They didn't watch all of it.
yeah, I didn't watch. Like I skipped through it, and I saw like the thing that got me at first was like, is that cop? Why does that cop have his gun out?
Yep. Dude, my buddy messaged me. He goes, I watched all of those on mute, so I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I didn't hear you say that the raccoon had rabies.
Yeah.
And see, that's a totally different part of the whole thing.
Well,
I thought it was just a bad raccoon.
I had somebody message me that was like, dude, I was a fan of yours for years and you really lost me. I'm done with you now. I'm just like, okay, well,
God.
That's a little intense.
No,
I think people saw, I mean, it was brutal. Like I had to remove a couple videos because it was like
too much.
It was too much. Like yeah.
I think that what was the bad thing was, I mean, one, if a raccoon has rabies, you have to kill it. You cannot.
Dude,
just
animal
let that
control literally said, we're not dealing with it.
Right.
Sheriff, you go take care of it.
That's dangerous.
It's super dangerous. And there's a lot of dogs in the area too.
Yeah.
They told us to hose down the fence afterwards. They go, if a dog licks that up, they're going to get rabies. Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. Have you ever seen humans with rabies?
No.
Untreated?
No.
If you really want to go down a YouTube hole and freak yourself out, Google or YouTube rabies human, and it is scary. It's like seeing zombies.
It's like a Walking Dead kind of thing?
Yeah. It's like, and it's
Like,
the
what
worst death
What
ever.
are one of the symptoms of them, like when they have bad rabies?
Like, if I can remember,
Are they literally like
shaking and
are they
licking their lips, foaming
the
and
mouth,
it's just
all that
like
stuff?
it's just the most horrific looking death you could ever imagine. It's scary, dude.
Well, that's another reason why like people are upset. They're like, why'd the cop shoot it 3 times? It was rabid. It wouldn't die because it was rabid.
Yeah.
It shot it in the head first.
My
It was
God.
they're like, that cop's a bad shot. It's like, no, he shot it between the eyes and it kept living.
Wow. Yeah, because it's like a zombie.
Yeah.
Jesus
So
Christ.
anyway,
Well,
anywho, that video's gone now. That was a 24-hour thing.
yeah. I mean, it was interesting because
That's why I didn't post it on my profile. I was like, there's some people that might get too upset at this.
Well, I was kind of upset just because I didn't know it was rabies, but it also seemed, I just never liked seeing stuff like that.
Yeah.
But where you're from, everyone has guns. It's a different life. It's a different world.
It really is. Like for people who don't grow up around guns and stuff, that is very traumatizing to see something like that. For me, I grew up with guns. I grew up shooting things and hunting and fishing and all that stuff. So it was just kind of like more like, oh, this is crazy. I can't believe the cops are here.
Right.
Like that's my point of view. But other people were like, this is wrong. I was like, I can see both sides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't really grow up in a gun household. My dad had a gun and I saw it once or twice, but he never really shot guns or did anything with guns.
Have you shot guns like since then?
Yeah.
Like gone to shooting range?
I love shooting ranges, and like me and Rogan go out. We used to go out a lot, and like the last time we went, we just took all our old hard drives because we had like all these old computers and just a box of old hard drives. And Joe's like, I can't throw these hard drives away, and I don't want anything on it, And he's like, let's go to the shooting range. And so we bring this box of old hard drives. And we just shot hard drives. It was pretty satisfying.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I made a video. You could watch it. It's called Hard Drive Destruction or something. It's pretty cool.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Do you still because you put out so much different content through the different podcasts and stuff? Have you put out anything like any kind of music or like sketch type stuff in a bit? Like when was the last time you put out a video like that? Because you have a lot of like original songs and stuff that are on YouTube,
right? That
are available.
I used to do sketches a lot in MySpace days because my good friend Jordy Fox was in charge of MySpace, like all the video and comedy content. And so like anytime I would make a video, he would just put it on the front page and would get like millions of hits and stuff. And it was so cool. So it really got me to do the sketches and like stupid videos. Like me and Duncan Trussell used to always make videos of us like tripping and stuff. And like there was one video where we, like when you get like raw chicken and you lift it up and there's like that little maxi pad that's underneath it. We had a video.
Your descriptions are always so visually graphic.
Chicken maxi pad. What is it? You know, that's what it is. So anyways,
Redban.
we made this video where we both take those maxi pads and just start sucking on them.
Oh my goodness.
But we didn't really, we made it look,
yeah.
I poured a little red wine vinegar and little grapes. I put little grapes in it. It looked so real. And then we just started tripping on it. That's like the kind of videos we used to make, just stupid shit, which I guess I should have kept on doing because I would have been like famous by now if I still made those sketches and all that.
Little videos and stuff like that.
Yeah. When podcasting got big, I stopped making a lot of videos and a lot of sketches because it was years. It was like 8 years of editing video for Joe Rogan every day, hours and hours in video. And I just burnt myself out, man. Video editing is one of the most time consuming. Yeah.
And it's also once you start editing, because I've been editing for like the last 12 to 15 years, like somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Once you're in it, it's a vortex. Yeah. You kind of lose track of everything around you because you get so into it. And then you're like, I've been editing this for like 7 hours and my day is like all like you almost are disoriented.
Yeah, when I made the Carlos Mencia video with Carlos versus Joe Rogan, I was at the Comedy Store one night, filmed it all. I went home that night and had to transfer all the tape to the computer, then edit that whole thing. I think I edited and did all that. Like, I think I went to bed at like 10 a.m. I was like, all right, well, I can't stay awake any longer. And then I just hit upload and went to bed. Woke up the next morning, it was like millions of hits, like news channels trying to interview me. Like I looked at my phone and it was like 100 missed calls and like, it was the craziest thing ever.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was intense.
100 missed.
It was insane, dude. So many people were trying to get a hold of me.
Of course. I mean, dude, because that's like, you think about that, like just in the history of comedy, that specific moment was so like shattering to somebody of Carlos's status.
Oh, yeah, he was number one at the
he's
time. Yeah.
the top of the comedy game. Mm-hmm. He's touring everywhere. He's selling out arenas. He's doing the whole thing.
Number one show on Comedy Central.
Yeah, everything's huge. Now, did that
immediately,
like with Comedy Central?
Oh yeah, immediately. I mean, it was overnight. His career was over.
Dude, did that affect your relationship negatively with Comedy Central? Because that
Comedy Central, I don't know.
Because if you think about it, like by you uploading that, it's kind of like, oh, this guy just cost us a lot of money, even though he's in the wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's still a liability.
I'm pretty sure I got blacklisted by a few different companies in the past, but yeah, I never knew anyone from Comedy Central, but I was friends with all the South Park guys, so maybe they were like, well, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, oh well, my bad. I think because Joe Rogan was on my side, and most of the comedy fans and comedians were on our side.
All the community was on your side.
So I think that kind of helped. That
was enough leverage.
Yeah. It wasn't, I just didn't put out a video just to destroy somebody. It needed to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's still, and I heard he's still stealing.
Are you serious?
I'm not going to say who, but somebody I know very well. Maybe a year and a half ago, was watching him at a local club, and he comes out and goes, dude, Carlos is doing Tasha's bit like word by word right now.
What?
And I'm like, wow, he's still doing shit. But, oh well, good for you, man.
Dang. That's crazy.
I just can't even imagine doing that. Can you imagine just, like, there was a guy, had a set Sunday night in the belly room, and there was a guy in the front with a napkin, and he was just writing shit down. And Chelsea Skidmore goes, what are you writing on that? And he goes, oh, I'm just thinking of jokes. And she goes, what? You're sitting in a comedy club. And then she didn't do anything about it. She gets off stage, and the first thing I did is like, dude, so you're writing, like I went right after her.
Of course.
I'm like, oh, that seems like a good idea. I think I'll write jokes at a comedy club while watching people do jokes. Seems like that makes a lot of sense, Carlos. And I kept on calling him Carlos.
Oh, dang.
But yeah, some people, I tell you, idiots.
Dude, one of my favorite things to do with you on the road, which is I consider a new tradition, is when
peeing in the hallway.
Not peeing on the hallway.
Okay.
No, is when Tony's on stage, you and I play charades.
Oh yeah, charades. That was fun.
We did that in Raleigh, North Carolina, to the point where we both were crying laughing because We're two grown adult men playing charades in this tiny green room
that's a
for
green room.
just he and I, and we're literally, so we're doing like the movie motion and stuff like that. And I'm like doing all this stuff. And like, so I do like the motion for like God and stuff like that. And it's a famous movie,
Right.
and it's only going to be like one thing. It's got to be Godfather. And so like, you know, I'm like trying to mime being a dad holding his baby, and Redban just kept yelling at me over and over, God baby, God baby, God baby. And I'm like, no, it's not God baby. And I'm like, it's a movie. And I keep going to that, and he keeps yelling God son at me, God baby, like God parent. And then like he finally said Godfather, and I started bursting out with tears laughing because it was so ridiculous.
To be fair, I've never seen The Godfather.
You never seen The Godfather?
No, you know, it was always one of those movies that anyone that explained or talked about The Godfather, I was just like, oh, this person's annoying me. Like,
okay,
people that overly talk about The Godfather.
So since you've never seen the movie,
Right.
Let's act out the movie to what you think it is.
Okay.
Hey, you come to me, you ask me for something. What do you want?
Look, Tony or Baloney or
Yes, my name's Tony Baloney.
Yeah, I could probably tell.
Sure.
Yeah. You probably want money and pasta.
Get me my money and my pasta.
Okay, and you probably want a tracksuit.
This is
like a DS.
This is literally on my list. Money, tracksuit, and pasta.
Okay, and you're the father of God, which I thought God was like the top guy. So
No, I'm the top guy.
So yeah, so you and some other woman gave birth to God.
Right? That's a lineage.
Yeah. So and you're Italian. So
I asked for pasta, money, and a tracksuit.
Yeah, it's the ego on you that you think that the creator of the creator is Italian. See, that's already annoying the fuck out of me. Like
that is what Redban thinks is the Godfather movie.
Annoying.
Is an annoying Italian guy who wants pasta, tracksuits, and money and thinks he's the god of gods.
Yes. And you're just sitting out there, your little fucking cafe, drinking coffee slowly. A little espresso, right? Yeah. Okay.
Let's watch that.
Let's do. All right.
Okay. Let's go to that real quick.
No, you know, it's so funny because people that really talk about The Godfather nonstop, it annoys me so much.
I feel like they're the people who honestly are more annoying about like those kind of movies are more Goodfellas guys.
Yeah, but I mean, how many times have you gone over to an Italian kid's house and there's just Godfather posters everywhere, and you know, you never see Goodfellas posters.
I guess so.
You know, I knew this guy in college that would always wear a jacket that just said Godfather and like this big leather jacket.
Dude, those shirts were so popular back in the day.
Which ones?
Just those Godfather
shirts. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where it's literally just like an outline of the Godfather.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had one that's Tebow made me that says Podfather, and it's the same logo.
That's awesome.
Man, but I can't wear that. It's the same reason like we don't wear a Godfather. That's kind of annoying. I don't know.
That's pretty good though. You are the Podfather, and nice little burpees.
I'm sorry, man.
It's okay. Let's get into this next segment, fanning out.
Questions from fans.
I reached out to people on social media and asked them if they could ask Brian Redban any question. What would it be? And we got some awesome ones. This comes from Reddit at Timmy Two Times.
Reddit loves me.
What's the strangest thing you've seen at a truck stop?
At a truck stop? There was one that I don't know if you were with. No, I think it was with Dean Del Rey. And it was in the middle of nowhere. I'm not sure even what state it was in. But it was one of those places where it's like a truck stop, gas station, and then there's like a sandwich place inside of it. But then if you walk down the hallway, there was a door that just said massage. And it was it It was just like this old, like I looked inside and it was just an old lady, Asian lady sitting on a crate, like a milk crate. And she goes, massage? And I'm like, no, like this has to be a hand job place, you know?
It
Like,
has to be,
right?
Dude,
But
a massage on a milk crate?
yeah. And well, there was a table in there, but she was just sitting on a milk crate. And I remember
it was a poker table. It wasn't even a massage table.
Oh God. And normally I would be down, but she was like, she was like, I mean, I've had a massage before by an old lady and it was a hand job place. And
Did she...
The whole time she's rubbing my back and I feel the calluses of her hands. Like it was just like, I don't know, just rough, like fingernails scratching.
Her dentures fall out in her lower back.
God. Oh, and then she kept on burping. Like she had ate Chinese food right before she gave me a massage. And the whole time she's like, and I just smell like that. It was like gross. And then when she flipped me over, I'm like, I gotta go. Like I'm like, I'm out of here.
It's like the opposite of relaxing. Like
it was.
Your back is spasming. You're like freaking out.
It was. And I think what it was is I was in Santa Monica and I was just like, oh, there's a massage. I'll go, see what kind of massage parlor is. And I think it was like 9:30 and I think they closed at 10. And I think the woman that usually runs the front desk sent the massage person home. And then she's like, I walked in and I saw this old lady. I'm like, oh yeah, one massage, please. I didn't think she was going to do it. And I think she's just like, well, I guess I have to do it now, and it was the grossest.
Dude, you'll never guess this, but the Asian lady who gave you that massage, she's calling in right now.
Oh God.
Yeah, she's actually it says Miss Wang.
Hello?
Yeah,
This is not Miss Wang, is it?
this is Miss Wang.
Oh, you don't like me when I burp in your face and rub you. I try to help you.
Mrs.
Who is this?
Oh, sorry. This is Brian's friend. You called into my show, actually. It's called Jeremiah Wonders. I actually don't know how you got this number if you don't know who I am.
I'm wondering why I called in. I heard this man talking about my massage.
Yeah, we were talking about your massage. Yeah, that definitely, that's what we were talking about. Could you maybe give him a refund? It sounds like he didn't have the best time.
Oh, he gets a refund. He come here and get it himself.
He has to go there and get it himself if he wants a refund?
Yes, I miss his big hairy back.
Oh, you remember his back, what it looks like?
Oh, yeah, look like he laid down on barbershop with glue on back.
Oh, no. Then maybe he owes you a little something if it's that gross back there.
Oh, I like.
Oh, you like the hairy back?
I like to get naked and rub it all over his back. Feel like millions of women's vaginas.
Oh, wait, it feels like a million women's vaginas on his back?
If I take off pants and rub my coochie all over his back, it seems like biggest vagina ever, and me like it.
Oh, wow, you are filthy, Mrs. Wang.
Oh, you should see my bum. I don't lie, I can't reach back there anymore.
I should look at your bum?
Yes, can't reach. Old arms don't reach, can't wipe, so just put a mouthwash bottle on ground and sit on it and squeeze it.
Oh my goodness, Mrs. Wang, you are a disgusting woman. You're saying to squat on a mouthwash bottle and then squeeze it so you can freshen up your choo-choo?
Yes, feels so good and refreshing for my butt lips.
Did you just...
My butt mouth.
Did you just call your butthole your butt mouth?
Yeah.
Mrs. Wang, you are just too dirty to... Are you like an ancient relative of Brian Redban? I've never met a woman this filthy before.
No. We know each other very well now.
Oh, so he goes to you still?
Oh, yeah, he didn't tell you that, did he?
No, he didn't tell me that.
Oh, he loved me all night.
He loved you all night?
Yes. He make me put the makeup on and act like his girlfriend and go out late at night.
All right, we got to get out. Hang up this phone.
Okay.
I don't know what she's talking about.
I just hung up on Mrs. Wang.
Dating Miss Wang.
It sounds like you have a bit of a fetish for those masseuses.
I do. All right.
That's pretty crazy.
Have you ever been to a hand job place before?
No, but in Mexico, when I went there, I was naked underneath the towel, right? And it was like on the beach. And she did something that I don't think is standard because it's never happened before.
Okay, let me guess. The butt?
No. She would do like ball swipes.
Oh, yeah.
Like literally like it like grazed the side of my balls.
Yeah, that's them going, you want some more? And if you like push back or whatever, then they will go farther. Meaning that's them like going, testing you out. So if they rub your ball, then you're supposed to kind of go, or like push your butt back against her, and then she'll start doing it more and more. And then she knows that you want a hand job.
Whoa.
Yeah. And if it's Mexico, you probably do everything.
On the beach?
Probably.
But dude, there's like other people around me.
Oh, I don't know.
It was literally an open setting, like where there's like a girl next to me and a guy next to me.
If there was no dividers, then
or maybe I've just got some hangers, dude.
Maybe you do, gross.
I got some saggies.
I don't have hangers. Like Ari Shaffir has the longest balls I've ever seen in my life. They're probably like
they are long.
10 times longer than my balls.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Ari's junk way too many times. You
know what my favorite is? And it only happens once in a while. I call it sick balls. When sometimes your balls are just like a nice hard shell. Like they've gotten like it's almost like you could touch it and it's like there's no like you could barely pull any skin. It's just like it's like tightened up. I don't know, like in defense mode or something.
I mean, that's just whenever I'm really cold.
Yeah, or cold.
If I'm really cold, that's what it's like.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
It's like it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Everything's tucked in.
I like it when it's like that.
No. At Hell Damon from Reddit, what's the grossest food you've ever eaten? 10-day-old pizza, food that rolled under the couch, etc.
Well, besides that moldy shit I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
There's this place called Animal here in Hollywood. And it's just animals, of course, but it's like weird shit, like bull penis and stuff like that. And I ate cow brain. And yeah. And I think the only reason I got it was because the girl I was with wanted to try it. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not trying cow brain. Anyways, I did. And it tasted exactly like brains. Like it did not, the texture did not feel right. It was horrible.
Yeah, that sounds pretty gnarly.
Yeah, that was probably the grossest.
At I'm an Immigrant from Reddit, what do you think of the constant attempts by internet folk to quote unquote fix Kill Tony? Have you thought of making a more commercial version of Kill Tony for television? Because it's interesting. Like, I try not to look at comments too much, but like, I do. And people are always like, what if you did this with the show? Or, you know what I mean? Everybody wants like their own like spin on like format or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is nowadays it's pretty interesting. Nowadays there's very little reason to change it and think about TV, because the show itself could be on TV. It could be on Comedy Central. It could be cleaned up. It could be, we could take all the racist shit out. We could, take all the copywritten music out. We could take all the edgy like stuff out.
Language or whatever.
Edgy language. And we can make a really dumb version of it. But nowadays, is it worth going to Comedy Central? Is more people going to see it on TV or, on the internet? It's doing fine. And I think the rush to making stuff, TV shows, every year it's getting less important, I guess, is, unless we're making a movie for fucking HBO or, something like that, then sure, your movie would be better on HBO than on YouTube. But when it's like a format like this, unless you want
it's never been done before.
Yeah. Unless you want a really neutered version of it, I think ideally the best thing would be is if we had it on HBO uncensored at night, or
that'd be cool, man.
That would be cool. Yeah. But again, it's not that important. Here's a good example. Like a lot of people always were like even Howard Stern, when we started doing podcasts, Howard Stern would shit on podcasts all the time. Oh, who fucking listens to podcasts? Podcasts are nothing, blah, 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 where in reality, Joe Rogan's podcast probably gets a lot more listens than Howard Stern nowadays, Yeah. And Howard Stern is on, XM radio. He he doesn't, he can't say anything he wants to, even though he probably says that he does. He can't say anything he wants to. He can't do what he wants to do 100%. Where Joe Rogan do whatever the fuck he wants. He's in control of everything, you know. And he's probably making a lot more money on just sponsors and people coming to his shows than Howard Stern's probably making, having a legit job, you know, on a radio station. But
yeah,
and I think that's how it is nowadays. And with this show, you know, we fine-tuned it a lot recently. Adding the band and having the band do a lot more of the music parts of it has helped out a lot, you know, with copyright shit and stuff. So it is more TV friendly than it used to be. But it's not even, I don't think me and Tony are thinking about that as much as just making a great show.
Sure.
And that's more important than, you know, TV, I think.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Now, when we did Kill Jeremiah, we did a couple format tweaks.
Oh, no. All the tweaks that you did, I loved.
Heard it here, folks.
And no, I'm a huge, like, I like doing new and fun little things. Like, one of my favorite things I always wanted to do, or I did a few times, or I was allowed to do a few times, was when we had like somebody, all right, who wants to eat like this hottest chocolate in the world?
Yeah.
And you get 3 minutes, but you have to eat the chocolate, no milk, do your 3 minutes. Then after 3 minutes, you get milk. And I mean, these chocolates, you can watch videos on YouTube of them, you know, somebody eating a piece of this chocolate and dying, you know, and like now imagine doing comedy after that. I think that's a hilarious, like just fun thing. And those little tweaks that you did when you did Kill Jeremiah is like on the same lines of that. Like, why not? We can always fuck around and do
try different segments and stuff like that.
Try different segments.
So yeah, what would a segment maybe look like if it was like an episode of Kill Redban?
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Why not? Like, what would be something that you'd be like, oh, I always wanted to try this, or I think it would be fun to implement, like maybe this rule or something like one thing, like I've always thought if it was a TV show, like if it ever did become a TV show, that if we did have some kind of communication thing where we voted like we were done wanting to talk to the comics, because sometimes we end up, you know, just naturally a comic stays on too long for an interview.
Well, yeah, like any kind of TV show where they have like the X, like, you know, type thing. That would be good to say, all right, I'm done with this guy, or I'm done. You know, I think one thing would be fun is having, let's say like, go, all right, we've already gone through the bucket people. Now we have this, bucket, the second bucket, the crazy challenge bucket or whatever it's called. And you have to pick out 3 things from this bucket. And one would be like, all right, you have to put lipstick on and a wig. Okay. Next one, you have to take off your shirt or something like that. Or, you know, like then do comedy. Like, you know, like have like a bunch of different things in there. Like you have to do a racist joke or something like that. Or, you know, or something just, you know, just a, change it up a little would be fun always, you know, like little challenges or something. Or
dude, I was surprised in the Tiffany Haddish episode what people were willing to do when money was on the line.
Oh yeah,
that was very
she
interesting.
Was throwing around hundreds though.
Dude, she was going for it.
Man, must be nice, you know? I mean I buy people squatty potties. That's what I do. You know that I've bought about 6 comic squatty potties.
Really?
Yeah. Do you have one? Do you want one? I might buy you a squatty potty. I just bought Tony a nice pink one. I bought Don Barris one. I bought George Perez one.
That's
Sandro.
just like your thing?
Yeah. I just am a firm believer that they're great. And then whenever somebody's talking about them and they're like I think Sandro was like, I don't have a squatty potty. I'm like, wait, you don't have one?
You don't have one?
Put your address.
What's your address? I'm going to order something real quick. Yeah. That's pretty funny. So we talked about the Europe trip quite a bit, but this comes from at Christian H. Buck on Reddit. What did you enjoy most or least of the Kill Tony Europe trip? So let's talk about what did you enjoy the most? Because we talked about some of like the crazy setbacks as far as being sick. What was your favorite thing about like us going to Europe?
The train ride. I thought that was fun.
Wasn't that cool?
Yeah, that was my first time on a train. I never really do public transportation.
It was nice too. Yeah, I was like, I wish I could do this over flying all the time.
Yeah, now I'm thinking more and more about how much I want to take trains everywhere. Like, like San Diego. Next time I'm in San Diego, I might take a train.
They're comfortable.
Yeah, it was nice, and we got to see the countryside. You know, it was like an hour, 2 hour trip. You know?
From Manchester to London, we got to see all of the countryside, and I literally felt like I was inside one of the Harry Potter movies.
Oh yeah,
like it was some
cool.
of those hills and stuff.
It was cool. I really enjoyed that. You know, and it was cool talking to people. I mean, the people I could understand. You know, it was
some people had thick accents. Yeah,
because I mean, they probably never thought we would come there. You know.
That's what was kind of cool, like exciting about it is like there were some people that were, I mean, everybody is always super grateful whenever we go to any part of the country, but that was like, they were like, there was people genuinely shocked. They're like, I cannot believe you're here right now.
Yeah.
Like I listened to you guys. Like I never thought you'd make it over here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was cool. It was cool definitely seeing the people. I just, you know, seeing fans, that had to be cool for them, you know, thinking, oh, they're never going to come to Europe, but your favorite show comes. That's great.
Cool. And we might be heading back there.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Worst thing though is food. I did not like the food or the options of.
Did you like the fish and chips at that one?
That
bar
was good. That was good.
But in Ireland you didn't like the? Well, we might have gotten food poisoning from those oysters.
Yeah.
We don't know if that's what it's from.
I think it was from the oysters
because we were like, these taste different. Ooh.
Tony thinks it was just the dirty people of Ireland and from shaking hands, which makes sense if one of us got sick and then. That would make sense. But if we're like shaking hands and then all three of us just started licking our fingers at the same time, then I don't know. It just seems like oysters.
From Twitter at Mona_Deek, ask Redban his favorite group the Kill Tony band dressed up as, or I guess the characters, any character or group that we've dressed up as.
God, there's been so many that I love. I really liked it when you were porn stars and you had that fake spray tan and everything.
You know what's funny? Tony did not even realize that I went and got a fake spray tan. He's like, he didn't notice. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm so white.
Yeah. And
it did not register to him at all.
Of course, you as Joe Rogan is probably one of my, I mean, just the head, your makeup person who did your makeup on that was fucking amazing. Yeah. I would say one of those two.
Dude, the porn star thing. Okay. I'm probably most ashamed of myself for one of the things from that episode, but it makes me laugh. I can't help it. It makes me laugh harder than most things I've seen of myself because it's so disgusting. It's when I was eating a banana and then I start like burping it up on myself, like all sexy. And then Joel got on the ground and I spit it up on Joel and then on his lower back. And like, God. We're just these gross and drag porn stars. And I literally, when I watch it, I cry laughing and I'm disgusted with myself that's even like out there.
It seems like there's so much fun things you could do too. Like, I don't know if I told you this or not, or if I just thought this, it would be so funny if you had like water balloons like strapped inside your shirt and then you had like parts where you just pop and it squirts. Oh, I squirted.
Oh yeah. It's so good.
Make like put like cream of chicken soup in there or something.
Oh, Redban.
Oh, I'm creamy right now.
I did. Oh, God. Dude, I did love the Let's Get Dirty with Redban segment on Kill Jeremiah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about
the
that.
jingle and
Let's
everything.
get dirty with Redban. What I do this time?
He's Redban. At Irish Greatness, this will be an interesting one. What disgusts you the most?
What disgusts me the most? People that put too much perfume on. Like when you smell Boon Shakalaka on Tuesdays.
Oh, so like old lady perfume.
Old lady, like flowers. But my grandmother used to, and I think my sister does this too, where I think it was because they smoked cigarettes. So every time they would smoke a cigarette, they would spray a splash of perfume on when they came inside. Oh. So after like a pack of cigarettes,
you're soaked.
It's just cologne or perfume over perfume over perfume over perfume. I hate that. Like a girl that wears too much makeup. Like I hate when you're close to somebody, you look at their face and it's just caked on and you're just like, am I talking to a clown right now? I just hate, like, I'm not a big fan of makeup. And luckily I'm dating an Asian girl that doesn't need any makeup. So, but I've dated girls where they've worn so much makeup, then the next day you can see their face printed on the pillow and you're just like, oh my God, my pillow has a face now. Like, you're like, I dated a girl that didn't have real eyebrows, so she had to paint eyebrows on, and sometimes
Every day?
yeah, and so sometimes I didn't date her. I just fucked her a couple times, but then she like every time I'd see her, she had like a different impression. Like she didn't do it the same, and it changes your look a lot if you're.
Well, yeah, you can be really excited or really angry. Like, are you in a bad mood? It's like you just drew him on a little funky today.
Yeah, I hate that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I hate like normal stuff.
She's like, I am so sad right now.
Yeah, and it
And
was
you're like,
like
your
that.
eyebrows are really raised. It looks like you're sad. No, I'm really sad.
Yeah, and the first time I noticed it, like the first night I met her, I didn't realize it. I mean, I slept with her the first night, and then the next morning, I woke up and I turned around and was like, yeah, that was awesome. And I look over and her eyebrow was just like half off and like just down her face. And I was like, ah! It scared the shit out of me. I was like, what did I go home
Her
with?
eyebrows are all frowny, and she's like, "You're like, are you upset?" She's like, "No, this is the happiest I've ever been in my entire life." This one comes from at Dragar Gaming, Dragar Gaming on Twitter. When are you bringing the show back to Chicago? Did we do it at Chicago?
We've
back
never
in the day?
done Chicago.
Have we done? We keep getting hit up to. I'm actually surprised that we haven't done Kiltony Chicago.
Yeah, I'm very surprised, but that Chicago's a weird thing. I don't know what it is. I got just for Death Squad shows, not Kill Tony shows. I've been offered a couple times at the Laugh Factory, but it's just not been a good deal. And to the point where like even the managers are like, "Don't do this deal."
Yeah.
And other than that, like Chicago's the one thing that honestly, I admit it. We've not done a lot of shit in Chicago. Like at least I haven't. And we've never done Kill Tony Chicago.
I haven't done. I've only been there like really a few times to do shows, and that's it. I'm surprised because like we get hit up a lot.
I think we're not in the right mafia. You know, we're in the other one or something.
Yeah.
No. There's a few places, Chicago, Denver. I'm surprised we haven't done that yet.
Denver. I mean, that city's ripe for yeah.
That'd be perfect for the Comedy Works.
Yeah. Oh, Kill Tony at Comedy Works would be amazing.
Yeah.
Do you ever take time to sit back and appreciate how much you've done for the comedy world? Give the man an opportunity to flex a bit. He deserves it. I would have never found Brody or you, Jeremiah, or most of the comedians I love without Brian and his podcast.
Aww.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
That's at Ting Ting Ringo.
Oh, Ting Ting. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I know that, but I kind of forget about it. You know, like it's like, I don't know. It's like when you introduce somebody for the first time to somebody else, you don't kind of sit on it. You know, I'm the one that told you know. Yeah. You know, but yeah,
I mean, dude, even before I was actively involved with Kill Tony, you've always had me super involved with Ice House Chronicles and Death Squad and like
Thunder Pussy
when we did that forever ago.
Yeah, and I still do that. That's one of my favorite things and that's why I still do the Ice House Chronicles or Death Squad Chronicles. And I always try to have young comics on those shows mixed with, you know, more seasoned guys, is because I love somebody, especially if I like somebody. That's why I like how when somebody comes on Kill Tony and I really like them, I'll invite them over to that just because, you know, hey, if they're this good right now, they're going to be amazing in a few years. And so that's why I like that podcast or that show, is because it's kind of like, well, look, now I could introduce you to these people, the same people, you know? So introducing new comics to everybody is, I think, one of my favorite things. I don't know. It's just like, if I like them and I think they're great, I know you're going to like them, you know, type thing. So
yeah, you already like this. You're going to like this as well.
Yeah. It fits in the family type thing.
It's pretty cool.
And it's why I kind of have to be a dick sometimes. There's a lot of people that don't get the whole Death Squad thing, or like, you know, like there was a guy that just rushed in on the show a couple weeks ago. And he just goes, hey, man, like, and comes into my studio while we're podcasting. Goes, hey, man, so just so you know, I'm in town the next couple of weeks. Love to be on your show. Any chance I can go on the show tonight? If not, I can do the next one. And I'm like, one, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
And two, why are you here? Like,
that's
how do you
pretty
get
invasive.
Yeah. And then he was so demanding, like, oh, no, I'm in town. You don't, you know, like, I'm like, get away from me. And that same dude's been emailing me and messaging me like every day. And I'm just like, that's the shit I hate, because like, look, man, you know, these people are here because they've already kind of proved themselves to me, you know, or at least like I see something in them, and they're in kind of like the same group of friends and network, and you're just some guy that's just like, come give me spots. I want spots. You know, like
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, it's a little slimy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's slimy. Oh, this comes from at Hey Danny Frank. What's your favorite artist, graphic artist, musician, or filmmaker, or comedian, or whatever you would like to mention of all time, or at least like a couple of them? So I guess what kind of music and like art do you like?
Music. I'm a huge fan of Ween, who I took you to your first Ween show.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, Ween's probably my all-time favorite show or group. I really like Steve Martin is probably one of my all-time favorite comics growing up, to the point, yeah.
Next
Steve
to the
Martin,
Bloody
heck
Fingers.
Yeah, baby. I wrote Steve Martin like 3 letters when I was in middle school. And like back then we didn't have computers really. And, but there was a book in my local library. It was like addresses to the movie stars. And I was just like, what? And I was like, oh, Steve Martin. And I wrote him like 3 letters, never got a fucking response. And I was like, I'm Brian. I love you.
I wrote a college paper on Lorne Michaels and his history and how much he's done for comedy.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I mean, Saturday Night Live, like you, I've always been a huge fan.
Yeah.
Like I've seen every single episode. Except the last one I haven't seen yet, but I have it on my DVR. But no, I love Saturday Night Live. I always wanted to be on Saturday Night Live younger, you know. But now I don't. I know you still want to be on Saturday Night Live. But yeah, no.
I do love though the creative freedom that we have on Kill Tony though, that you and Tony allow us to have, because we get every week. We like. You know,
I'm always jealous of you guys because, like last night was a perfect example, because you guys get to be funny through characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there were so many things that you said last night, dressed up as Jeff Foxworthy, that you couldn't say if you were just Jeremiah sitting on the panel. You know, it would make no sense.
It made no sense.
Yeah. And that's the shit that's the shit I get jealous of, because I love fucking around, especially when you're in a character, fucking around in a character, because it's not you saying it, it's you playing some crazy character. So I think it's so much easier to say silly, stupid, crazy shit. You know,
one of these days, because I watched one of the old episodes and it was really funny. Like it was a Pokemon episode where we dressed up as Pokemon, and you had a Pikachu hoodie on.
Yeah,
I think what would be really fun is like we don't tell Tony for one of the episodes where when the characters come out, you put something on your head or something, and you commit to the character with the band.
That'd be so
the
funny.
Rest of the episode.
I agree with that. That's why I've also thought, like, if we ever did like a Kill Jeremiah, how funny, or like a backwards weird show, like how funny would it be like that? Like, all right, Joel, you're now on the soundboard. Brian, you're like, you know, like just flip everything around.
Yeah,
that would be
just turn everything on its head.
You know, like experiment episodes. I like that kind of shit.
Yeah,
you know?
it's fun. It's like, why not?
Why
if
not?
it doesn't go well, it's one episode. We're literally doing 3 episodes in Philly, so it's like,
yeah, and
so many of them are, you know.
And even if we didn't like it or didn't like how it goes, that's going to be somebody's favorite episode. You know,
Totally. Yeah. Last question here, and then we'll get into the next segment. At McRacey, what has been Redban's favorite Kill Tony to date? That might be hard. There's so many.
Oh my God. And it's like you just forget about them all. There's so many times where after the episode, I'm like, I think that's the funniest episode ever. And then I forget, you know, but I don't even remember who the guest was. It just happened to be a good combo of you and guest and people that come up on the show, or I'm trying to think of like a random. I mean, I think the Joe Rogan episode, the 5-year was great.
The 5-year is a lot of fun. There's a lot of great moments on that.
Yeah. It's hard because we do it.
We do it every week.
We do it every week. So they all kind of go together, and it's not as easy to pick one, I guess. I do really like all the ones that Brody used to be on. I loved Brody's chemistry on all the shows. Some people are really like, they always have good chemistry on the shows. Like I like Dom Herrera when he's on the show, you know.
Dom Herrera is perfect. Either like with somebody who he's familiar with, you know, who he's buddies with. Whenever you put 2 guests with Dom, it's a little bit like, I think he's like, oh, let them them fight it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when it's him with one other person he knows well, that's like, he's like a sniper, dude.
Yeah. There's definitely people also that I don't like on the show, who I can't tell you who, but,
Have you ever asked Tony to not have a guest back? Have you ever done that? And been like, dude, I don't think that's a good idea to have them back.
I never say not have them back, but I've also said, we got to remember every time we book this person, he always does the same shit. Like he interrupts everybody. He's always over talking everybody. You know, there's a couple of people where I'm just like, I think we forget every time we book these certain people.
And then, we rebook them and then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
Cool. This next segment we are going to get into is called the Kindness Challenge.
Oh gosh.
So every week I challenge the audience, Brian, to do something out of the kindness of their heart for someone who they know. It can be someone who they know, or it can be a complete stranger. It can be big. It can be little, as long as they're contributing something positive to society. And what I do, I've been doing this in the intro. I'm going to try this as part of the video on the podcast, because I feel like a lot of people have not been aware that this kindness challenge is even a thing. I read letters that are submitted from you guys, the listeners, to jeremiahwonders@gmail.com, and I read them in the voice where I wonder what they might have sounded like. So this one comes from Emily, and I will read it right now.
To be honest, I live for this kind of thing. Making someone smile is the best part of any day, and definitely my goal every day. Stop it, Redban. But my kind deed was, in Aldi, a woman in front of me forgot her ID and couldn't buy the wine she had been prepared to. I picked up her bottle and gave it to her while she was bagging her groceries. She had small kids with her and definitely needed a glass or two to relax. I hope her Friday was better for it. Keep the kindness moving. Emily.
Aw.
Isn't that nice?
It is nice.
See, and Redban told earlier he's been sending people squatty potties. That counts as the kindness challenge. Him randomly giving things to people that he thinks that they need. That's a nice thing.
It helps their colon health out.
It helps their colon health out,
and it's fun. I think squatty potty is the one thing that after you have you can't. It's hard for you to not have anymore. Like
it's hard for you to go without. Like once you start using it, your body's like, wait, Yeah,
when I'm at a hotel, I have to make my own squatty potties using like towels and trash cans and stuff. It's hard. For real.
So Emily, thank you. I used a filter for your voice. I didn't actually pull off sounding that effeminate, but thank you for submitting that kind of challenge letter. Everybody else do that. You can email those to jeremiahwonders@gmail.com. I hope you enjoy this segment. I hope that you keep spreading positivity and kindness wherever you're at. Let's get into this final segment, Sax Talk.
Okay.
All right. I told Redban before the podcast, I prepped him. He knows what's up. He's going to share a story of a sexual encounter, and I'm going to play some sweet, sweet saxophone underneath. Just sax it up. Whenever you're ready, my friend, I will follow you.
I was 17 years old. I was working in a movie theater as an usher and a projectionist. I dated a girl who also worked at the movie theater. And we would have sex all the time in the projection booth. One of our managers, she was 22 years old. She invited us to her graduation party because she graduated college. She had a keg left over, and so we just drank this keg. And she lived with her mom for some reason still, but we took... And we got butt-ass wasted. And I went up to go to the bathroom, and my girlfriend and the manager lady, they were in the basement. And I come downstairs, and they're undressing each other. And we had a threesome. And I fucked the manager girl in the butt for my first time. It was my first anal sex. And it was amazing. And now that woman's a cop, and she had sex with 2 underage people. And the threesome ruined our relationship. And I quit and went to a different movie theater. And now my ex-girlfriend's a lesbian. At the end.
First off, is that all real?
Yeah.
You really gave the Cliff Notes version of that story.
It's so hard to talk when you're doing that though.
I don't know if you noticed, but I was playing the graduation song.
Oh, really? That's hilarious, dude. Wow.
We will still be friends forever. Do you remember that playing at like all the graduations?
Yeah.
That was so huge.
Yeah.
So all that happened.
Yeah.
So you were at the movie theater.
Yeah, we were working at the movie theater, me and my girlfriend.
And how old was the manager?
Like 22.
And
23.
how old were you guys?
I was 17. I think she was 16.
And you had a thriesome with them?
Yeah.
Dude, Redban getting it in.
It was weird because I just remember watching my girlfriend watch me she's like, oh, fuck me in the butt. Like the manager, older lady. And I go, can I fuck her in the butt? And she's like, yeah, please.
Put it in my milk dud.
And I just remember how weird it was seeing your girlfriend like watch
cool with
you.
it?
Watch
Yeah.
it. Yeah, like I felt like I was cheating on her. And then the next day, that's what it was going through all of our heads.
What did she say?
Next day, we woke up. It was so weird because we all slept together in the basement. And then her mom
of the movie theater?
No, this was at her mom's house.
What? How did the 22-year-old even like you snuck her in or what?
No. So the 22-year-old lived with her mom, and her mom was like, oh, hey, how's it going? Oh, you guys have a whole keg you should finish. And so we just hung out in the basement the whole night. Mom went to bed. Next morning, we just all hung out in the basement and drank and fucked. And then the next morning, her mom opens the basement door and goes, hey guys, wake up. I have breakfast if you guys want breakfast. And I'm just remember going, what the fuck happened? And I look over to my girlfriend, and my girlfriend's like, what the fuck? And then she starts crying, because she starts remembering what happened. And
so you guys were super wasted?
I mean, we were young kids drinking a keg of
16,
beer.
17, and 22.
Yeah. And I just always thought it was weird because now that manager's a cop and my girlfriend's a lesbian. So it's kind of weird.
What would happen? Man, this is really weird, but your cop ex encounter is actually calling into the show right now.
Oh, no.
No, she is.
She is?
Hey, hello?
Hi.
Hey, is this Brian?
Yes, is this Ferran?
Say that again?
Veronica?
Yes, this is Veronica. You call me Ferran. Yeah, I haven't been called that in a long time because I'm an officer of the law now.
I'm sorry, Officer Veron.
Yes. So, you really airing dirty laundry today, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but it was big. It's I use it to still masturbate to this day. That night when I fucked you.
This is threatening.
Fucked you in your officer butt in your donut hole.
Okay, this is. You are assaulting an officer with this kind of language.
Oh, you assaulted my little peeper, didn't you?
Well,
I'm sure the other officers would love to hear that you fucked 2 underage kids.
Okay, well, maybe let's not talk about that. Actually, let's call it even, okay?
All right, then.
I'm really regretting this phone call. I wish I would have made.
Maybe one more time.
I wish I would have. You know what? I'm gonna change it so you can't hear who I am anymore.
Hello, this is Veronica.
Oh, hey, Veronica.
I have a voice modulator now, okay?
Okay.
So now nobody can track where I am, okay?
Oh, okay. That's fine.
If you ever say this story again, I will murder everyone in your family. I will come out.
Remember when I pulled it?
Yes, I know exactly where you
pulled
live
it out
in
of your
Burbank.
butt and then you washed it for me using your mouth?
Okay, this is just getting way too graphic.
I liked it though.
You did?
No, you used.
I'm hacking your system.
No, you can't. You listen.
I had the biggest areolas ever. That's what makes me like areolas to this day.
Oh, wait, that's me.
You got. I don't think you're using that voice. You got to really talk right into that thing.
I tried.
There you
Alright.
go. You got to keep a fluid movement, otherwise it's going to break up too much.
All right.
How dare you hack my system to make people think that I was saying those filthy things. I'm an officer of the law in Ohio, okay?
I wonder if I got pulled over, how hot that would be. I'm like,
If I came to the door,
yeah, and
I'd
like,
be like, hello.
hey, let's do it one more time. That little cop pooper of yours.
And then I was like, get over here. And I was like, if you don't, I'll arrest you for resisting.
Yeah, and you wear your outfit. That would be pretty hot if you wore your outfit.
I mean, what are we talking here? Can you give me a flight out to Burbank or what's going on?
Yeah, well, I have to check to see what you look like now.
All right, well, I'm on Bumble, so.
Bumble.
All right, well, I'm really upset they used the voice modulator against me.
I squirted so hard when you ate my ass.
Okay, listen, that is not me. That is not Veronica. He's using the system against me. He's a podcast aficionado and he knows how to use technology, and I'm pretty offended, actually.
Remember when you told...
Wait, you remember when you told us that you had a tampon stuck in you and you remember that?
No, I don't remember this. It's disgusting. What are you talking about?
That was one thing I remembered about you, because you had a tampon stuck in you and you couldn't get it out and you were really scared about it. And then my girlfriend somehow got it out using those thongs that on a grill, whatever they're called.
Tongs?
Tongs.
Not thongs. What are you talking about?
Tongs. Remember? And
All right, you know what? I was listening earlier to the sax talk, and this is rapidly approaching the most disgusting sax talk I've ever heard. And a previous guest, Steve-O, talked about his dog eating his cum.
Oh, God.
That's how gross this conversation has been. You've broken into the top 5.
I got a good dog eating cum story.
All right, I gotta go.
My cat used to, like when you masturbate, you put your tissues like on the nightstand. Sometimes my cat used to always just knock those tissues off on the ground. And then my old dog, not the one I used to have now, used to eat them, the tissues. And so many times I was like, what are you eating? Oh, and he's just got.
That's so, dude, that's so disgusting.
And I always thought my cat did it on purpose.
Oh my goodness. And I literally have my inner voice in my head say Redban. Anytime you start to like talk about this stuff, I'm just like, oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. But you know what? That's the only way to end this podcast today. Mm-hmm. Redban, do you have anything upcoming that you would like to plug, my friend, that people don't already know about?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of Kill Tony or any of the Death Squad peeps, don't forget we always have 2 shows every month at the Ice House, the first and third Friday. It's we have a new time. It's at 8:30 p.m. now instead of 10:30. And the shows have been amazing lately.
That's awesome.
And we've been doing it for like 8 years. So come out. You can see, usually it's like $10, and a lot of times I give out free tickets on Twitter. But come out if you enjoy all of us, because there's a lot of people that and there's a lot of comics from Kill Tony on there and stuff like that. And you're on it a lot. And
yeah.
And
Reagan Watkins is on it a lot.
It's called the Death Squad Secret Show.
You take that show all over. Ice House a couple times a month, sometimes at the Comedy Store we just did in the main room, sometimes at the Hollywood Improv. Take it all over.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. We'll maybe have to do some Death Squad road shows coming up.
Hell yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, dude, thank you so much for coming back by. This has been the return of Brian Redban on Jeremiah Wonders. I love you, dude.
Thank you, buddy. I love you too.
Bye.
Bye. Meow.